All right, CSS battle time. Let's do circles and lines. I don't know. I don't know what else to call that. All right. So, I mean, when I have repeated shapes like this in a line, I like gradients. I feel like, I mean, of course, odds are the best solution is going to be a box shadow that just gets like one element, and then both are box shadowed. This is what throws things off. This circle down here makes it so that box shadow needs to be different. But, you know, you could make the lines super long so that even though you have this shadow, this one right here, and then the shadow way down here, you could still have the line extend so far up that when it's shadowed down, it still is a full line. So this could just be straight box shadows. That might even be the simplest, but I don't think I want to do it that way. This sounds more fun. I think what I want is to do gradients, and I think what I'm going to do is make it so it's a radial gradient that's spaced, right? Size it and shape it so that it repeats at that distance, but have this inner line here be the body. Like this is the HTML, and I'll shrink it down with box shadow or border or whatever to give it these dimensions so that the repeat doesn't show up on the outside. Yeah, I think that you'd see the edge of a circle over here with the sizing. We'll see. We'll find out. But anyways, I'll shrink it down, and then the body, I should be able to position things so that the body just shows up, you know, like the one. You know, it's going to be too small to have the second one show up on the repeat. It is kind of what I'm hoping for. So it'll be one background. The difficulty is going to be with overlapping and getting that solid black background here. Getting the overlap right for that. So I don't know if I want to do that on the radial gradient or the linear. Probably the radial gradient. And actually, I don't think I'll have a problem because the linear can be transparent, or actually the linear can just be the single line. Yeah, and then transparent. Yeah, we'd be good. We'll be good. All right, background. Let's start with the radial, and then I'll figure out the ordering. I always flip around which one is on top, whether it's the first or the second one. I don't know why I can't keep that straight, but I just can't. So let's go 50 pixels just to get started with our units, and then do that. All right. Looks about right. All right, so we're gonna do at top, so we get that size, and I think, wait, is it 0% works? No, it does the left first, so it would be like 0.50% is still left. 50%, 0. Yeah, so at top is the shortest. When you're doing at left, that's where you can get shorter. All right, let's keep that in the right spot. So we have that shape. Now we need to position. Ooh, maybe I do want... I could probably position it with this. You know, 50 pixels. Yeah, that's it, right? So that's 50 offset, negative 50. I could always, you know, wrap it all the way around, but I don't think that's what I want to do. Let's start with that. Let's hit the slash, and let's say 150. All right, so this is showing up on the body too. Let's get this going. We're close. We're very close. I think actually what I need to change... Oh, is it the size or... Ooh, that's about right. Okay, so let's say 50, and then let's... 55? No, I think it's a little bit of both. It's always a guessing game what I'm actually moving with the diff on. That one's over there. That one's over there. It's like, do I change the positioning or the sizing? Let's get them consistently spaced. 65? No. I think actually 160 looks pretty good. Oh, there we go. 40 and 160. Cool. Okay, so yeah, I was right. We do see a little bit of the circle with the proper spacing. So now, let's get our linear gradient. Yeah, we want to do a linear gradient, and just because if you do border or background or anything like that, it's gonna shrink this radial gradient. We won't see it. So a linear gradient lets us keep our dimensions and all the things. And so I'm gonna want to position it sort of the same way I did that one. Let's just get it started, and we gotta say 90 degrees, and we're going to do the red for 20 pixels, and then we're gonna go transparent. All right, now let's see. If we don't see anything, it's because I need to move it to the front. There it is. And take the comma off, put it up front, throw the comma back in, and we give that a 0. And we have our line. All right, so let's position it. 50 pixels, 80, 90, 110. All right, 110, and then we'll size it, and it should be the same 160. Okay, good. I could write background size and then write that once, but which I don't think that's going to help anything. I should be able to reduce those down at least. Those are easily translated. Okay, now if we put this all into the body, we get this double image, but we're going to margin the body down. We're going to throw an outline on it just so I can see where it's moving. Margin. We're going to go 0 and then like 100. All right, good. I think if I move the margin 80. Ooh. Okay, let's look what we got going on here. Okay. So what I have, it's centered. I need 90. 90. Now it's out of position. Okay, so we'll just write a longer margin. So we're going to do 80, and then, no, I want the sides moved in. So why is it moving? Because if I do a scale, -1, we see, oh, that radial gradient is overriding the gray background, so it is a problem. I have an idea though. What if the body is only this big, only as big as this circle, and then my linear gradient is now sized. That's my radial gradient. Don't do that. Don't do that. This one though, if I size it in half, I get all my lines. So what we'll see is we'll see a little bit of the linear gradient, but it won't extend all the way up. So like, let's watch. If we do 50, 50, there we go. And then the bottom is 0. We're cooking. And then we're going to come in 10. All right. Let's put in a right. Okay, I wonder why it is. Oh, because of the size. Has to do with its size. E over there. Oh, actually, that's looking better. No, 90. That looks better. Let's do 90 here. That shifts it over. Weird. So I can move the one side, right? But I can't match it on the other. has to be 80 there too, but the other one can be 90. What am I doing wrong here? What am I doing wrong? We can clean up all the extra lines and edges with a little bit of a box shadow. Maybe that's what I do. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to worry about this. I don't need to write an extra long... Oh, I do need to write the bottom, right? And this can actually be low. 80 is happy. 80 is happy because of these numbers here, I bet. It's the size of the pixels is going to be something that is, what's the word for it? Divisor. It divides equally. I can't think of it. But if we write a box shadow on this, which is kind of long, you know, 0, 0. Ooh, no. We want, if I do a box shadow inset, I want it coming in from both sides. So maybe I do a border inline. Let's do a border inline instead on this. And I think I'll have to change the margins and some of the numbers, but it should work. Let's go like 50 pixels. Okay, yeah. Let's drop this by 30. Okay, things are not in the right place. 20, 10, 12. What am I looking at here? I'm looking at everything out of whack. Okay, let's come back up to this. Let's turn on our diff. And let's change the color. Just so it's a little less confusing. Alright, we need to shift things over. So I think if I okay, so that's the linear gradient I'm moving. That's what I need to pay attention to this. Okay, 150. Good. Okay, we got those lined up again. The bottom isn't. We'll deal with that. Let's get our linear gradient. 40, 50, 60. Okay. I believe that's going to be lined up again. I just need to get the body margined properly. Let's go 0 on that. 30. Ooh. Okay, alright. Can we bring this in more? Okay, we're getting clipped like crazy. Alright, so let's drop it back down to 30. Why are we not seeing our linear gradient repeating? Because the borders are clipping it. Okay, if I drop the border. This is why I didn't want to use border. Because it changes the layout. Could I use outline? I can't use outline inline though. Outline is everything. But if I just use a little bit of margin, I bring the outline in. And since I have to use margin on the body as well, maybe I can cascade that. Let's see if that works on this. I'm doing the wrong buttons. Okay, outline 20 pixels solid. Alright. So I'm overwriting it on the body. That's all we're seeing. Let's throw a little margin on this. Let's see what happens when we do 0 on the top and bottom, but 30. It is there. We are changing things. It's there. This might not be the best. Okay. But it's not changing the layout as much, right? So if we get this one gone, take this, put it here. Why is the top gone? Why is the, do I need negative 30 on this? Negative 50. Okay. which means I can't do at top. Why is this happening? Or is this the body? Is this the body that's getting this outline? Yeah. Let's see. Okay. That's the body's outline. There we go. So do that. But I need the body to come down. So outline's not going to work because it shows up on the body, which is shrunk down. And so we see that outline. And I wanted the outline on the body too, to hide things. No, I don't need the outline on the body. Okay, well, I feel like this solution is falling apart as we speak, but I have one last thing to try here. Alright, so it's not on the body anymore. We can go back to being 50. Alright, everything's out of whack again. Radial gradient. Let's go 100. Ooh. 20, 30, 40. Okay, now we're at 170. And then this is 40, 30, 20. Zero on that one. Let's turn this up so we can actually see. Yeah, it's lined up good on the HTML at 0, which is cool because I can get rid of those pixels. I don't actually understand why that works on the HTML. Outline's not covering anything though. $50, $60. Outline needs to be bigger? Yeesh. Nothing moves in when you make the outline bigger. You just cover more. Okay. Moved it in that much, but that seems like too much. Right? Yeah, it should be more like 70. Okay, that looks good. This is, yeah, those lines are not great. Getting just too much. Okay, that makes a little more sense to move it up with that. Let's move things back again. We're at 130 now. We can do this. Okay. Oh. Hello. Let's see. 99.9, I'm sure, because we have this weird line up there at the top. And I think that's showing through the outline. But it took it. That is nasty looking. Okay, let's clean this up. I had to work for that, man. Sheesh. Okay, 20, oh, that's 10M. Right? And then 130 pixels is not easy to change. Let's just do Q on that if we can. Let's Q. Let's walk you up 6. Okay, that looks pretty good. Let's see if it'll accept it. I know this isn't a top solution, so it's yeah, 99.9. So we're gonna go back to 130. I need to take the time to properly adjust you like get that website where you can do the PC, no, CH, that's 40 is CH. What's 50 pixels? I know I've done that one before. Clearly I can't keep them all straight. 80 pixels is 48, 56, 48, 54. No. What is 6? 16 goes into 80, right? It's 5. Yeah, 5M. I gotta quit. I gotta quit. All right. That should all work. 130 and 70 pixels up in the outline are the outliers. Let's see if we can do... This one should be able to work with Q. Right? Because it shouldn't be critical. Yeah, there. 74Q. Because it's not changing the layout. That one I should be able to change around a bit. 99.9. Okay, let's turn it up one more. That actually looks even better for layout, you know? Yay! Okay. Okay. Alright, so our HTML has the very large outline only. Our body, I think, is just sized to be this one element inside here and then just below those. And then it's flipped around to be underneath. And you know what? I think I know why I was having trouble with the margin earlier. Couldn't figure out why I couldn't move right and left. And I think it's because the scale -1 was flipped compared to what I thought it would be. Okay, whatever. That was fun. That was a fun solution. We could have just done box shadows. And you know what? We would have been successful. But it's so boring. Look at how entertaining that was. I'm just saying that so I feel better about the solution. 193 characters, not great, but I don't know. It's what I did. At least maybe now you know what not to do. All right. I hope you have a good time with this one. I'll catch you later.